What's up guys, Ryan here from Mudgunner, and today I have a new gun that I want to show you, but I also figured we could show you the set that I've been building up for a while. This is basically all HK, but we do have a single imposter, and yeah, with that being said, let me show you the new gun. So, I've been paying this off for a little bit at the store I work at, but this is an HK MR762A1. Sounds fancy when you say the whole name, but it's basically HK's semi-auto 417. So it's a 308, and it is awesome. I'm very excited to shoot it. I have shot these once before, I believe. A buddy of mine had one of these. Actually, a few of my friends have had these now, so I'm pretty excited that I have my own. And this is one that I've been looking for a little while. The store I work at, we've gotten a lot over the years, and I've had opportunities to buy them. One of the more, I guess, notable times was at the time that this HK MR556 came in, we had this plus a 762 come in at the exact same time. And at the time I was like, oh, I've always wanted one of these, and I always passed on them because I could never get one for less than $2,000. And that was always my goal, was to get one for like less than $2,000. It never came. And then they went to the M-LOK rail, and then the quad rails got impossible to find. So when I was finally able to get one of these, I think the lowest price I ever could have got one was like $2,000, but I was able to snag this one for $2,200, which it's a lot of money for a rifle, but I always wanted the quad rail model. So this one came in along with the MR762 with the quad rail, and my buddy bought that one, and I've been wanting to get it off him. I know you're probably watching this, but I'm excited that I have my own and he's still able to have his, because I really did want one, and I was potentially willing to buy his at some point, but yeah, fate got me one, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, you don't see quad rails very often, and this one is not even the factory quad rail. It is a factory quad rail. It's a German rail, but the person before swapped it to this extended, I think it's a 13-inch quad rail. It would have either had the M-LOK rail, it could have had the KeyMod rail, or their version of KeyMod, or it would have had an old shorter quad rail, kind of like this one. Because the original quad rails were like, I think to right here, even on the 762, pretty short. So I do like the extended one, and I'm gonna kind of set this up as like a DMR style rifle. As of right now, I have a Nightforce NXS 3 to 18 by 50 that I'm gonna be paying off and getting for it, but it's gonna be like a couple months before I get that. So yeah, I think that's the plan, is we're gonna put a Nightforce on here, and then I already have the suppressor bought. I just need to do the tack stamp on it. I have an OSS Helix QD suppressor, so I wanna put that on here. And then it'll kind of be like the CSAS gun. So that's the semi-automatic sniper system. It was like a military contract gun. It'll kind of look like that, and it'll just be black. I do like FDE, but most of my HK setups are black. I tend to do my FDE setups in the FN, like SCAR and stuff, but most HKs, it's hard to make them FDE. It costs a lot of money. So I don't mind doing them in black. I think they look really good. But yeah, this is the new gun. So again, HK-MR762. It's got the extended factory German rail. It's got an Atlas bipod on here, and it's got the Geissele trigger, which is awesome. So it's a nice trigger. And yeah, other than that, I mean, internally it's all basically HK, and I just need to get an optic setup for it. So I'm not gonna be able to really show you guys much with it. I do have an EOTech I could throw on here just to go do a range day with it, but that is not the optic I wanna run on it. I do wanna run a scope on here, and yeah, very excited for it. But since it's a HK, I figured I would show you guys kind of the collection I built up of HKs over the years. So we'll kind of start with the rifles. We had the MR762. This is my MR556. So this one is pretty sweet. I've been working on this for a while, and it's basically all done. So not all my guns get suppressors or night vision setup, stuff like that. This is one of them. I don't really ever intend to suppress it because it'll be long. It's got a 16.5-inch barrel, and it's gonna look really odd with the suppressor, especially with the very short quad rail on here. But I don't wanna shorten the barrel, and I don't wanna get a longer rail for it. I kinda like it as is. If anything, I could see myself doing a 416 build where it's like the 10.4-inch barrel. I would like to do one of those at some point, but that's just gonna take time as well. So this one is the factory 16-inch MR556. It came basically as is with their stock, their grip, their short rail. I actually really want that grip on this because it comes with the HK stock, just a Magpul grip, which I don't like. For that, I like Magpul grips, but I want all HK on my stuff. So yeah, this is all factory, and then it's got Bobro flip-up sights on here. It's got an Aimpoint T2 on a LaRue mount, and yeah, it's got the Knights Armament battery cap, so this adds one extra battery in there for storage, and it makes it easier to turn the dial on and off, which is nice. I got a Viking Tactics sling, and I got a Knights Armament vertical grip. So, oh, and a Modlite OKW on a T-Rex Arms light bar with a Surefire pressure pad. At some point, the pad setup might change, like I might do like a mod button, something along those lines, but yeah, for now, this is just how I'm running it, and it works pretty good. Light is very nice, it's powerful, It's on the light bar so I can get it past this obnoxious barrel length, but it works really well. So that is the MR556 setup, and I have an original HK steel mag, which is one of the nicest AR mags you can have. They are solid, and even though the 30 round mags, they're a little bit longer than a standard aluminum mag, which is interesting. But it looks really good as just an all black 556 looking AR. So it's not really an AR because it's all proprietary, but it is very nice. So I do like that. We'll talk about the handguns in a sec. Actually, we could do these handguns for now. So handgun wise, well, I guess I gotta show you guys all the handguns. I don't have much in the way of HK handguns, but I do have some cool stuff. So we'll start with this one because this was my first HK handgun. This is an HK VP9. It is stock internally other than the barrel. So I did not do any trigger or anything like that, any trigger work. I did do a silencer co threaded barrel. It has a flared magwell on here. I don't know who makes it. And then, yeah, accessory wise, it's got a silencer co Octane 9. And I do have the Surefire on here for now, but this one probably won't stay on. It's an old Surefire. You can kind of tell by the markings on the side there. So it's like an old X300 stamp. And it's not very bright, but I will put an updated Surefire on here at some point. And then it is the paddle release, so it doesn't have the button release. And at the time, I think this was made in like 2014. They shipped with 15 round mags. If you buy VP9 nowadays, they come with 17 round mags, which is nice. So VP9 is an awesome gun. I don't shoot it as much as I should. I shoot a very few amount of 9mm. Like I have a bunch, but I shoot my main couple. But I do shoot the 45 a lot more, which I'll talk about in a sec. Other 9mm is the USP9, which is a cool gun. It's not my favorite shooting gun, but it is an iconic gun and it looks sick. Like this was sweet. I went to Greece November of last year and a lot of the cops had HK USPs. I don't know if they were running 9s or 40s or whatnot, but yeah, they were rocking HK USPs, which is cool. And then on this one, I have the GG&G like rail mount for this Insight M6 light. And this is a light laser combo, so let me turn it on. So laser, light, which is very high power as you can tell, and then laser light. So pretty cool setup. I don't have a holster for it, and it's kind of weird because if you look at it closely, there's like a slight flex in it from the way that it's angled because HK rails are kind of proprietary. So this rail adds like a pick rail section for common light. So like if I pull this down, I can slide it off. So it adds basically a single pick rail section, but it's at a slight angle and it's just kind of how it is. So it works good though. I can pop this on and off pretty easily if I need to. It just stays on there. But yeah, HK USP9, iconic gun, just not one of my favorite shooting guns. Not that it's bad, it's just, it's kind of not special. It is special, but it's not special shooting, if that makes sense. I know it probably broke some HK guys' heart. This one is the handgun I shoot the most from HK, and that is my HK45, because this is the only suppressed handgun in 45 that I use. I would like to get an FNX 45 Tactical at some point, but I just started with this, and I like the grip a lot more on this than an FNX 45. So, HK45 here, it didn't start out life as a tactical, but it was kind of turned into a tactical, so it did not come with a threaded barrel. The person that sold it to us, they bought a threaded barrel for it. So I have both barrels. It does have raised sights. Let's see. These are made by Hein. I'm not familiar with that company, but it's a nice set of sights. It's the Snowman, so you basically have a dot and a dot. I prefer the 3 dots, but it does work, and you can see above the suppressor. Suppressor on this one is a Silencer Co. Octane 45. So it's just the 45 version of this, and these were my first 2 pistol cans. They work really well. This one has the Surefire X400, which is the light laser model. So right here, got the laser. That's off. So laser, light laser, and just light. And it's a pretty bright light. These are expensive new. I did buy it used. I don't think I would buy these new. They're just very expensive, like $700+ expensive, especially if you do the green. I think it's like $800, but the gun looks really good with it. Again, I don't have a holster for this one either, even though I would like to get one, but yeah, it holds 10 rounds of 45 and it looks really sick. It kind of looks like, not the poor man's Mark 23, but the more affordable Mark 23. And speaking of Mark 23s, that is a handgun that I would love to get. It's basically an HK45, not an HK45, well, it's weird. This is an HK45, that's the model. The Mark 23 is a USP 45, like just big version of it. It's the biggest USP in 45. So it's kind of weird. They do the USP 45, the USP Expert 45, the Mark 23, which is just a really massive one. But that is on my list to get, is a Mark 23 in 45, which that's all they come in. And yeah, it'll just be a way bigger version of this, which this is a big handgun to begin with. So picture something way bigger, and that's the Mark 23. So yeah, I like the HK45, and it's more practical than the Mark 23. You can find these for like $600 right now, which is not bad for just the gun. So yeah, that is my HK handguns. we're gonna talk about this one because this is still HK. This is my HK MP5. It started out life as an SP5, but I did remark it, or had it remarked to MP5. So it no longer says HK SP5. It does say MP5, which is pretty cool. And it got rid of all the white lettering right here, and it got laser engraved like HK made in Germany, stuff like that. So there's a guy out here in Arizona. He goes by HK Ralph Jr., and he does beautiful, amazing work. Like this gun, if you think about it, it got all the finish sandblasted on it and then refinished when he did all his work. And it looks like a factory HK Cerakote or refinished job, not Cerakote, but you get my point. It is beautiful. It looks like it left the factory as an MP5 stamp gun. So worth doing. It cost like 500 bucks, or at least that's what it cost a couple years ago when I did it. And I even sent him this stock to get refurbished because I got this from a friend of mine. It cost 250 bucks to make it look all brand new again and replace all the internal buffers and whatnot. But to me, it was worth it to get the HK MP5 look here. And then I was able to source a Knight's bottom rail and top rail. And then I basically turned this into the Sicario MP5. If you've ever watched that movie, it is still missing a couple components. Right now I'm running a CGS suppressor on here. I want to get the original suppressor. So that is on my list to get. I have the chance to buy one right now. I just can't spend the money on it, unfortunately. But yeah, this works really well, and it's a very quiet suppressor. Again, it's the CGS Kraken. It's basically the same thing as the Mod 9. And then I have the Aimpoint Comp ML2. It's not the standard Comp 2, it's the ML2, and it's on an arms mount, which it's not the appropriate mount for the movie. And the movie used a straight up Comp M2, but it does look the part for now. It is not finished in my mind. So I do really like it. It's a very quiet, soft shooting gun. The MP5 is one of the softest shooting 9mm subguns I've ever shot. So I shoot a lot of different ones. I have a bunch of different ones. This is by far the softest shooting. So I highly recommend getting an HK MP5. I do want the MP5K or the MP5 PDW, but yeah, that's just more down the line, but I did like the full size first. And then we will talk about the Imposter. So this is a G36 build from Tommy Built. And specifically, this is a Jango Fett edition. It was a one of one. He did a Jango Fett and a Boba Fett, and I ended up getting this. I didn't buy it new. I did buy it used through the store I work at, and it is sweet. So it's a G36 clone. It's chambered in 5.56. It has, I think, like a 9-something inch barrel. I forget. It's a G36C, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's basically a modernized semi-auto G36. It's just made in America. It's not made by HK. Now, Tommy Built can take your HK SL8, which is a single stack neutered version of this that gets brought into the country, and you could spend a lot of money and you can turn it into something like this, or you could just buy his gun that he makes from the ground up like this. And it's pretty sweet. Is it better shooting than most modern 5.56s on the market? No, but it is unique and it's cool. The trigger is pretty heavy on these. Like, I would say it's like an 8-pound trigger. Like, it's not light, but it's cool. And it's very smooth shooting. It's loud because it's got a short barrel. It came with this AAC blast deflector on there. So underneath this, it does have an AAC flash hider. And yeah, it's got the cool Cerakote job. It's got a tail hook brace. It does fold. It comes in a cool Pelican case, which I'll show you the kit. And that's why I also don't have an optic or a light on here, because it will not fit in that case. And it's just already perfectly cut. I don't want to mess it up. I put this sling and the sling mount on there. That doesn't affect the case, but I have to take the sling off in the case. So yeah, I have shot this. I've ran it in drills. It's a lot of fun. I did do a standalone video of this on May 4th this year for Star Wars, but yeah, it's very cool. Charging handle goes from either side and it locks in place unless you pull it out. And then when you rack it hard, it'll just shoot forward with the force. But if I put it right there, it'll stay on the side either way. So the G36 is a very cool gun. It is accurate enough. The iron sights are like massive. Like, it's got just this massive rear peep sight, and there's no smaller one. So it is accurate enough, but an optic would be 10 times better. Again, I don't want to put it in the case and I don't want to cut it out because there's like no room up top for the case. So yeah, that is basically my HK collection. I would love an actual HK G36, but I don't mind settling for this because it is a very nice gun. Another theme we have going is these are all quad rail guns, and I am a big fan of the quad rail over M-LOK. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I do want to shoot this soon, but again, it's going to be maybe a month and a half, 2 months before I get the optic set up for it, so I just got to be patient. But I am looking forward to shooting that one, and yeah, I'll try to get it shot here soon for you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.